Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or find a way to lose. Please consider subscribing and liking the channel. Also, man, consider donating. Listen. How do we get to this point, people? What is going on in boxing? Let me tell you. Now, this is my opinion. I can't find, of course, you can't find anything on this guy, Al Haymon. I personally think that what we see happening here is a lot bigger than just fights being made, right? I think, you keep hearing that Al Haymon has connections. Al Haymon is like the Godfather, right? When it comes to Al Haymon fighters, he protects his fighters, and that's just a fact. And he's not the only one, Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, Oscar De La Hoya, Top Rank. Everyone tries to keep things in-house, you know what I'm saying? Because if they can make the fights, then, their guys lose. They lose to one of their own fighters. Money stays in-house. But for the most part, they're not really going to venture out and go elsewhere and risk a loss, especially a belt, with another promoter, unless there's just super huge money there. But when you have a fighter who loses, right, you want to rebuild him. Now, you look at what's going on. Now, this is my opinion, but I truly believe Al Haymon, behind the scenes, pulling strings with those business relationships that he's developed over the years. And again, I can be wrong. I don't mind. We're just having a conversation, right? And he's positioning Andy Ruiz over there in the IBF, and Deontay will probably still be positioned for the WBC if he doesn't go fight in Ghana or whatever the hell he's going to do. But he's being positioned for something. But I think Al Haymon's like, look, with Andy Ruiz, after coming off that AJ fight, Andy Ruiz he had Ariel and Ortiz. So he's only 2 fights removed from his loss. So Andy Ruiz is still in a reconstitution period. He's still rebuilding. Deontay Wilder is just he's 1 fight removed from his Tyson Fury loss. So he's still in a reconstitution period. He's still in a rebuilding period. So why in the world would Al Haymon want to take his 2, I would say that the 2 biggest heavyweight names that he has, right? Why would he want to take and have them fight each other and one lose and then he have a setback? It just doesn't make sense. No, he's gonna sit here and try to position those guys to go do something differently. That's exactly what I think is going on. Now the problem is I tried to do some research to get you guys something definitive, right? Because it's like, look, I can sit here and have a hunch, but then again, it's just me talking. But a lot of times when we start talking and brainstorming, a lot of things that I've said in the past, just being a common sense guy, man, right? Some of that stuff ends up proving to be there's some truth to it. So let's try to understand. Let's try to understand how they got to this point, okay? Now, when you look at the rankings, Usyk's the big man, then you got Fury 1, Wilder 2, AJ, Joe Joyce, then Ruiz, right? Dillian White, Luis Ortiz, Parker, then you got Hrgovic, who shouldn't be there, then you got Sanchez. But when you come and start trying to understand the whole IBF thing, all right, let's look at where these guys are positioned. Let's look at the WBO. Okay, we know Joe Joyce and Zhang are fighting, all right? So that's already a done deal. So you got Ruiz, who's the number 1 for the WBO, and Frank Sanchez. Then Otto Wallin, then Hrgovic, okay? Then AJ and Wilder. We'll stop at 6. And out of this right now, AJ is going to be fighting this guy, Franklin. Hrgovic and Ruiz is supposed to be mixing. We don't know what's going on with Frank Sanchez. And with Wilder, we don't know what direction he's going right now because obviously he's not fighting Andy Ruiz now. So then let's come look at the IBF. You got Usyk. Hrgovic was mandatory. He wasn't able to get the Usyk fight. Now Hrgovic and Ruiz have to fight for the interim title. Then below that, you got Wilder, you got AJ, You got this guy, Frank Sanchez, right? We don't know what's going on with these guys. Come over to the WBC. Wilder. Hey, and I'm going to tell you, there have been supposedly some talks between Wilder and Fury about that fourth fight. Don't be surprised. I just wouldn't be surprised at anything at this point, because you only the fly on the wall knows, man. But just really sitting here trying to critically analyze this and understand what move can prompt another move and return prompt another move. It's like dominoes, man. One falls, it hits the other one to fall. I'm trying to understand the domino effect. But just looking at it, it doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense. The only thing that makes sense is what I said here, that Al Haymon is pulling strings behind the scenes to get his guys in position to where, one, they don't have to fight each other, and two, they can get interim titles. Now for the WBA, you got Wilder and Joshua. Then you got this guy. This guy's a problem, number 5. I'm telling y'all right now, man. Arslanbek Makhmudov. I'm just letting you know right now, that guy is a problem. Then you come on down, you got Aparo. Hey, he did good this past weekend, man. Ortiz, Flip Hrgovic. So just trying to understand the heavyweight landscape and who could potentially, go on and actually fight. So we know what they have going on with most of the big names. What we don't know what's going on is with Sanchez. We don't know what's going on with Luis Ortiz. Wilder seems to be in the breeze where he can do what the hell he wants. Otto Wallen should be back in the ring soon. But yeah, they gotta figure this out. They gotta figure this out. Charles Martin's still floating around there. He needs a get back fight. Joyce Dubois is floating around there. I don't think Dubois is committed to anybody. Yeah, so when you look at this, Dillian White's he's just in a holding pattern waiting for the Joshua fight. When you look at this makeup here, it really, for me, it makes me wonder what exactly could have prompted that decision to make Ruiz and Hrgovic. Now, I know Eddie Hearn's guy is Hrgovic. So obviously, you can't make me believe that Eddie Hearn had nothing to do with that fight, especially how adamant he was about getting Hrgovic to fight Usyk. And now when you look at the fact that Usyk and Tyson Fury are, at odds about the purse split, right? Now, one thing I know for a fact is Tyson Fury, if he doesn't want to go forward with this Usyk fight, that means Tyson Fury is going to have to reschedule the fight or find a fill-in opponent. Who in the world can Tyson Fury find as a fill-in opponent to fight in April to fill up, an 80,000, 90,000 seated stadium? You just can't go out here and pick up a guy like Frank Sanchez and think you're going to fill up that stadium. Remember, he was able to do it with Chisora, but people are still kind of a little agitated about that. I'm not saying it'd be career suicide, but I think it wouldn't help. It wouldn't help Tyson Fury, his situation, if he was to come and just take a Frank Sanchez and decide he wants to go and fill up this damn stadium where he was supposed to be getting an undisputed distinction with Usyk. He's going to need the right dancing partner. And Wilder could help fill that stadium up. But I just don't think that's what Wilder wants to do. At this point, we're just guessing and pulling at straws. But I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, Al Haymon is positioning Ruiz and Wilder for those interim titles. I truly believe that. And I truly believe he wants to make sure his two guys who are in the reconstitution process, right, that they don't fight each other and take another loss and another setback. That's not he kind of has he has some heavyweights over there in his stable, man. He has enough to where he can sit there and round robin them, having them fight each other. But there's some guys outside of his stable that are big names too. And I think he could be trying to get over there and get some of those names on their resume. But I don't know. Just having a conversation. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Leave your comments below. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Just trying to make sense of this purse bid with Ruiz, Wilder, and how Malik Scott was able to say, how Malik Scott was able to come on record and say Wilder has one of those kind of, I'm paraphrasing, one of those kind of profiles where he can kind of, talk to people and pull some strings and kind of get what he wants in a sense. And to see that it's happening somewhat, like you can see something's materializing, it just makes you wonder what the hell is going on. Because this isn't how boxing works. I'm not saying the guys behind the scenes and the puppet masters and the corruption has never existed, but the stuff we're seeing happening right now in boxing is just mind-boggling. That being said, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.